Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Victoria Nebeli, and this is another office hour with me. So the last office hour, I started replicating a portfolio site, and I didn't finish up. I said we're going to finish up in today's office hour. So, but before I proceed, I'd like to address those that have been asking if they can drop a course. Please, you cannot drop any course at this point in time because you can actually change course. That's what I mean. Because registration has closed, you can't change course right now. Because if you change a course, that means you have to register for that course. So I know that school has resumed as well as called off strike. And if you are for full stack, you can't drop one. If you are doing front end and let's say front end and Node.js, and you are giving up on Node.js, it means that it's going to like affect your total score because um, your scores are being calculated as if you are a full-time student, a full stack student. So that's basically it. So somebody asked if you guys should use gap in your grid assignments. Yes. So the grid assignment, from what I can see, the grid layout. From what I can see here, I'm just going to open. So from what I can see here, there is gap in between the boxes, right? So it is the gap attributes that you use to give the boxes gaps. So yes, you're supposed to use gap to give the boxes gap, right? And if the resources we released, right? If you check the resources, the mentor Sandy, she did something that's almost the same thing like as this. They're even looking identical. She did something like this. So if you have not watched the resources, kindly just follow through so you can understand better how to use these things. That is why we sent out the resources so you guys can watch them and then attempt your tasks. So I'm just going to continue with the design we're creating. As at the last office hour, we're replicating this and we didn't finish, right? We stopped here. So we're just going to finish up the design and that will be it for today. So I'm going to open my VS Code. Somebody asked, how can I open a new window in my VS Code that his VS Code is filled up with his previous works. So if you click on open, VS Code will probably open up a work that you have been working on, something you have been working on, right? But if you want a new window, you want an entirely new window, then you just have to click on this new window and VS Code will automatically open up a new window without previous work for you. So yeah, I have a new window right now and I'm just going to use my terminal. I hope the person that asked about terminal is in today's class. So use your terminal, right? What I'm doing here, I'm just navigating, trying to open my folder using my terminal. So for me to open my folder using my terminal, I'll do first of all, I have to take note of my directory. I'm in user/user, right? I am in this directory and I want to go to the desktop directory. So I'm just going to do cd desktop. CD just simply means change directory. So CD desktop. It's going to take me to my desktop. As you can see, I'm inside the desktop folder. And then inside desktop folder, I want to open a folder called Everything Web 2. So I'm just going to do CD again, Everything Web. So you have to be sure of the name. If you don't get the name correctly, to show error. So I am inside Everything Web 2, and I'm just going to do, let me check what I have in Everything Web 2. Okay, I know what I have there. I'm just going to do CD portfolio. I didn't spell my portfolio when I was doing this well. Okay, let me check what I have there. So directory, I have portfolio class. So I'm going to open that by doing CD portfolio class again. So yeah, I am in portfolio class right now, and I'm just going to do code dots. Simply means please open this up. I want to code. So I am inside this folder right now, and we're just going to continue from where we stopped. As you can see, we're working on this. We worked on the navigation bar already, and we are working on the main section. And then I said I was going to add a footer to it, even if the design that we have here does not have a footer. Adding a footer is actually very easy to do. So I'm just going to split this up. So I have two screens here. So awesome. So as you can see, this is what we did the last time. And this is what we have. This is what we're trying to replicate, right? But we stopped here the last time. So I'm just going to close this from here and open it up again by going to my index.html, and I'm going to do open with live server. So yeah, this file index.html, but I'm going to change that name today to aboutme.html. It doesn't affect anything because this is VS Code. If it is replit, right? If it is replit, it will affect my work because replit must have this index.html. So I'm just going to name that to about me. So I've changed it to about me. I'm just going to open this again. So yeah, I have it there. So we have this. So the last time for my index.css, we gave our everything in our HTML document a padding of 0, margin 0. That is, we did a reset for our HTML documents, which is this here. And then we styled the body, we gave the body a background color of black, and all text should be white, as you can see here. And then I styled my anchor tag. I said every anchor tag in the body should not have any text decoration and should be color white, right? So this is the section where I styled my nav bar, as you can see here, and it's pretty much like this. So I'm just going to, I started styling the main design, which is very obvious. I am going to, this main design here, where I give it a margin of 15 pixels, 5 and 15 pixels. This margin for the main will affect every other pages, like every other page that I had the CSS file to. right? But this extra style that I'm styling here, this main about main is going to only affect what I'm doing inside the about me page. So I'm just going to give this a comment. I'm going to comment that and about me page main section design, right? So every single thing for the main section falls on the about me page. So I'm just going to continue with the design. I hope everybody's following along. So yeah. So according to the design we have here, we have a button kind of link. This is a link, right? And we started working on that already. So we're just going to continue with that. Right here, I'm going to style this link here, my resume. So I'm going to start that by doing main, right, main, that is inside main, get the class right main, and then style my anchor tag, right? And then style my anchor tag. So my anchor tag, I'm going to give my anchor tag a color, right? I'm going to override the general color I gave to it. So I'm going to give that black. Oh, this is supposed to be left main, not right main. This is under the left. This is left. I gave this a class of left main, and I gave this a class of right main. So I'm targeting the anchor tag here, and I gave it the color of black, and that's why you can't see the anchor tag anymore. I'm going to give it a background color of Alice blue. So as you can see, we can see it right now. I want to make the button bigger, so I'm going to give it a padding. I'm going to give it a padding of 10 pixels, 20 pixels. Okay, so as you can see right now, the padding is it's almost like it's clashing with the developer mentor at Zuri team at Zuri.team. So I'm going to give the P tag for this left main, I'm going to give it a margin button so that it pushes this button down, right? So I'm just going to come here and do main left main P tag margin button 5%. So as you can see, my button is now downwards, right? Because I gave this one a margin bottom of 5%. So it's actually created space in between these two. So I have that okay. I want this button, I want this anchor tag to have a larger background. So I'm just going to increase the weight. I'm going to make this 40. So I think this is okay, right? I'm going to make this 40. I can decide to make my padding. I can give my padding let me give it unit of, let me do it in EM. So let's say 1 EM, 3 EM, right? So 1 EM is so big. So I have 3 EM and 1 EM. So I can give my padding, I can give my padding the EM unit, which is actually responsive. And yeah, that's how that works. But let's stick with pixels for today. 40 pixels. So now that I have that, I want the edges of this this design right here. I want the edges to be rounded. So I'm just going to give it a border radius. Border radius actually makes the border of your element rounded. So I'm just going to give it a border radius of 10 pixels. I don't want it to be too round, just like this one. So this makes sense. And I can now, if you look at the design right here, you see that it has this, my resume is actually in blue color. So I can give the color actually targets the text, right? I can give the color blue. So it's blue right now. And you have to terminate everything with semicolon. So it's blue right now, but when I hover on it, nothing happens. So I want to edit the over property. I'm just going to call on main again. I'll call on main, and then I'll do dot left main. That is inside main, fetch me dot left main class, and then inside that class, fetch me the anchor tag, and then the anchor tag should have an overstate of what I am going to put in here. Right? So I'm going to give this a background color. On over, I want the color to be black, right? I want the color of the text to be black on over. So before I continue, please, if you want to submit your assignments, you were asked to create a grid. You were asked to create a grid design and a flexbox design. If you want to submit the link, it should be one URL, and it's simple. You just link it. The way we linked this, the way we have navigation bar, you just link it. You link the grid box to the flex box, or the flex box to the grid box. So if, for example, you have, so let's just create an HTML file here to answer that question. I'm just going to put test.html. So let's say we have test.html. You guys are using replit, so we have index.html in replit, right? So we have index.html, and here I did my grid design. So yeah, I did my grid design. So yeah, I did my grid design, and in this text.html, I did my flex box design. So yeah, I did my flexbox design, right? And inside this index.html, I did my grid design. So normally, when you run the index.html in your replit, right? When you run the index.html in your replit, it's going to open the grid design. So you can just add a button there, right? You can just add an anchor tag there, just an anchor tag, right? An anchor tag of you put the flex design HTML document, right? And just put link to flex design. If I come here now, if I run this, open a live server. If I run this, if this was my grid design, it would display my grid design. And then there will be a link very visible here saying link to flex design. And the tutor will just click on the link and it will take the tutor to the flex design. So the way you do it, just you create an extra HTML document, replit, design your flex box, design your grid box, connect them together, right? and put a button in the index.html or a link tag in the index.html that the tutor can click on and then see the flexbox design or the grid design, depending on how you linked it. If you want to use an image that is not on the web, it's simple. You can see that I added a picture on my VS Code here, cool.png. You can see it here, vix.png. Cool.png is a picture, right? You just upload it. If the picture is in your computer, you upload it to the folder of the file. You upload it to the folder that you're working on. As you can see, I'm working on portfolio folder, portfolio class. I just need to, if I'm working on my PC, right? I just need to go to my file manager. And I open my file manager, right? I'll navigate to that portfolio class. So desktop, everything web 2, and I'm working on portfolio class. I'm just going to copy the image from anywhere it is on my PC and then paste it inside here. Once I paste it here, it's going to appear among my files. If you are doing it on Replit, upload it to Replit the way you see, and you see the way when you click on this plus file, this new file on Replit, you'll be able to upload anything you want to upload there. So if we go on Replit right now, we'll go on replit.com. I'm just going to create a new Replit. So I'll create a new Replit. Just going to name it testing, right? Once I create this Replit right now, as you can see, I have this plus button here. Just click on add file, right? Upload a file, sorry. Click on these 3 dots here and say upload a file. So when you click on upload a file, look for the file anywhere you have it in your laptop. As you can see, I have many pictures here. I can upload this one to Replit. Once I upload it, see now, I have it on Replit and I can use it on Replit. So it is that simple. So I'm just going to continue now with the design. So we're progressing. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this also. I'm just going to go back to aboutme.html and I'm going to open this with live server. So yeah, so we are progressing. So I'm going to give this a background color on over, right? I'm going to give it a background color of. I'm just going to over on this to pick a color that I love. As you can see, I want it to rhyme with this color. So right now it's kind of lighter, so I can make it darker. It's not exactly the same, but I think that's okay. So if we compare to this here, it's okay. I think this is okay, right? It doesn't need to be exactly the same. It should just look like it, right? So I'm going to make this image bigger, right? So I'm just going to call main, then dot left container, dot right container, I mean, this is inside the class right main. So dot right main, and then inside dot right main, I am targeting the image, right? So I am going to give this image a position of absolute. So yeah, After giving the image a position of absolute, I'm going to give it a margin, not margin, I mean, once you give your position, once you give your image or whatever thing you are styling a position of absolute or fixed or whatever you want to give it, you can automatically start positioning it using right, left, bottom, and top. So I'm going to give this a right of 5%. That is, I want the image to move from the right by 5%. As you can see, it has left the edges of the page. So I can come here and I can say, oh, I want to give this a height, first of all. I want to give this a height of, I'll give this a height of 70% of my page. So it's bigger now, right? But as you can see, it's touching the bottom of the page. I don't want it to touch the bottom. So I'm going to say, okay, bottom, I want this to leave the bottom by 10%. So it has left the bottom, and I can, it looks like this right now. I have this opened in two places. I'm going to close this. So you can see it looks like this right now, but it is not rounded. So I'm going to give this a border radius to make it rounded. I'm going to give this a border radius of, you can make it as rounded as you want. I'm going to just give this 100 pixels. So I think this is fair. Let's make this 150. Right. There's really not much difference, right? 100 pixels. So this looks like this, just that this image here is touching the bottom, and I gave this a bottom of 10% because I want to add a footer. If I let the image touch the bottom of my page, then it means that there's no space for my footer, right? So now let's give this a footer. So the footer is actually just the footer is the footer of the page, right? It basically contains things about copyright, just very few information about what you did. You can add maybe a link to your social media account on your footer or whatever you want to add, right? If we go to research footer design here, research footer design, see the kind of things that are in footer. So you can see just like it's a footer, just like summary, foolish developer, blah blah blah, added link to his social media handle. You see this one has different links because you can kind of have something like a navigation bar at your footer, right? So as you can see, this one has links and links. See what this one has. So it is basically just more information, basically, right, about your page. So you can put anything in your footer depending on what you want to put there. If you want to put your social media pictures or like LinkedIn logo and stuff, you can put that there. So, but I'm just going to make this very simple. I'm not going to be putting so much in the footer. I just want to show you how to add the footer. So I'm going to come to this place. You can see the footer tag here. So yeah, I'm just going to add a P tag. And I'm going to say in my P tag, contact me anytime. Right, that is what I want to have in my P tag, in my footer. As you can see, the footer is right here. So I'm going to push this footer downwards. So since the footer should be the last thing on your page, like the bottom of your page, you want it to stick to the page. You want it to stick to the bottom. You don't want it hanging here. It's not nice. People will not even know that this is a footer. So you come to index.css, and I'm going to start my footer. I'm going to say footer. So this footer is going to be applied to all the pages, every other page, right? So footer. I'm calling it by the name. I'm just going to give this a footer first of all. I'm going to give it a background color of Alice blue. I'm going to give my footer a background color of Alice. So we'll see what we're working on. Alice. So you can see I gave my footer a background color of Alice blue, and I'm going to make the text black. And I'm going to give this a position of fixed, right? And I'm going to now give it a button. So as you can see, it's at the bottom right now. I'm going to give it a width of 100%. So it takes the full width of the page. So it's taking 100% right now. So yes, so I'm going to give it 100% width, and then I am going to do a text align, text at the center, right? So it takes my text to the center. Contact me anytime. And then I'm going to I'm just going to give it a padding to make my footer bigger. But normally when you start typing things inside, this will expand, right? So I'm just going to give my footer 5 pixels. Right, I just have contact me anytime. And you can add anything you want to add in your footer, but it should be like, it should not be the main content, maybe links and the likes. So contact me anytime. And right now I have this here. So if I want to have, I'm building this web page, right? This portfolio site. So I want it to be that when I click on contact me, I can see something on contact me. I can see the same design on contact me service and project. So I'm going to link this CSS file I used here. I am going to link it to every other file. So as you can see here, we have aboutme.html. I am just going to copy, let me make this bigger. I am just going to Control A, right? I'm going to copy everything here, right? As you can see, this thing I'm copying here already has the link, REL of the linking is already linked to the index of CSS, right? So everywhere I'm going to paste it is going to be linked to the index of CSS. So I'm just going to paste this in contactme.html. I will paste this in project.html, and I'll paste this in service.html. But since they are different pages, right? Since they are different pages, it means that their content, the main should be different. If I click on contact me right now, it's showing the same thing, which is not proper, right? So I am going to make sure that the main is different. So I'm just going to take off everything I have here. This is the service me page. And I'm just going to put an H1 tag, my services. I'll come to project.html, take everything in the main section. This is actually why semantic HTML is actually good, because right now I know, okay, footer is there, header is there. I just need to edit only my name, right? And it's easier to manage your code. So I'm just going to put my project. I'm not going to be building this page for the sake of time. So, but this is just how you have the same styles everywhere. So my project, and I'm going to come to contact me.html. I'm just going to have an H1 tag here, contact me, right? And then about me is okay. So if I minimize this, if I come here now, you can see contact me page is just showing contact me, but it has the same footer, it has the same header, it has the same navigation bar, the same design. So it makes my work, it makes my portfolio nice, because everywhere I go, I have the same design on the background. So I can come to contact me here, you see, service page, my services. So usually I would put in anything you want to put in my services, projects, my projects, right? But if I click on about me, now I'm in my project page, but if I click on about me, it doesn't work. So when you copy everything there, you have to also edit the links in the navigation bar. You have to edit the links in the navigation bar. Right? So you come here. If I am in contact me page, so if I am in contact me page, I want to make sure that when I click on contact me, even if it's mistakenly, I don't want it to open in another page, because see now, you can see we have so many tabs here. If I click on my projects, I'm in my project page, but it opens on that tab. So you want to edit this thing. So in contact me page, I'm just going to change here, since I'm in contact me page. So if I click contact me, it shouldn't take me anywhere, right? It should just be in that page. And I'm just going to take away this target for the contact me page, right? Then this about me page, I want to put the about.html link there, right? And this looks okay. Now I'm going to go to the project.html page. So on that project.html page, I'm just going to change this to about me, right? I'll put the correct link. And then the project one, the project link, I'm going to remove this target blank, right? And then I'm going to change this to ash, right? And then I'm going to go to service.html. I'm going to edit this too. So I'll put the about me page here. And then I'll put the service.html, remove this underscore blank, right? And I'm just going to put ash here. So I'll close up these many pages. Oh, I closed that design. So right now I'm in my project. So if I click on my project, it doesn't open in any new tab. It just refreshes the page, right? If I click on services now opens on a new tab, and I'm now in my services. The reason why we said open it in a new tab, target underscore blank, we just said that for you to learn how to open things on target underscore. To open things on a new tab isn't target underscore blank. But if you don't want to open it in a new site, you can just remove the target underscore blank on every link. And once I click on service page, it will load here instead of in another tab. So I can go to, if I click on about me here, about me works fine, right? Click on about me works fine. I click on it, you can see that it doesn't take me to another page. I'm clicking on about me. I click on contact me page, it opens up. In contact me, I can still navigate. In my services, I can navigate. In my project, I can navigate. You understand? So the navigation bar is actually very important because it makes things easier. Some people will build websites and they'll put navigation bar in the about me page. When somebody clicks on contact me page, in the contact me page, there's no navigation bar. How do you expect the person using your website to go back? That's not nice. So you have to put in navigation bar or something. If you're not building a full website, maybe a link that can help the person go back to where it's coming from, instead of clicking this back button. Because you can see now that I've opened in a new tab, I can't even click the back button to go back to where I'm coming from. I have to basically go to the other tab to see where I'm coming from. So navigation bar is very important. So if you can't log in your Zuri board, so I am done with this. It's replicating this. I'm done with replicating this. So I am going to end this class in 8 minutes, right? So I don't disrupt other classes that are coming after mine. I'll just, since I don't have any questions to attend to, I'll look at the YouTube chat box and see what I can answer there. So if you can't log into your Zuri board, it's probably an issue of network, because I am able to log into my Zuri board. I am able to log into my Zuri board. So you want to be sure that you have good network. You want to be sure that you have good network, right? And you are opening the right link. w2.zuriboard.com should be the right link. w2.zuriboard.com should be the right link. So you can also add images. So if you need help in the grid tags, actually there's a video. If you check, if you have not been seeing the resources, check post. If you watch that video, you'll be so amazed, right? Just check posts. If you're a front-end student, you should see all the posts about front-end, right? In this post, I'm just going to search for, right? And it should give me everything about week 4. So give me everything about week 4. So as you can see, it says here, resources on week 4. So when you click on this resources on week 4, right, you should have it in your LMS. When you click on this, you can see the resources sent out, layout, introduction, and flexbox layout, right? More on CSS flexbox, CSS grid layout, CSS responsiveness, and media queries. So the mentor that took this video on CSS grid blocks, she actually designed something that is almost the same with the assignment. So once you watch that video, you should be able to do your assignment without any issue. And then for media queries, that's why we have resources, CSS responsiveness and media queries. Make sure you watch the resources. I am already out of time, so I cannot explain anything about, I cannot do a full tutorial on any of these topics, but please watch the resources. That's why we sent out the resources. It contains all these things. We explained it in a very calm and relaxed way, and then put it on YouTube so you guys can watch it. So please watch the resources. So yeah, I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for attending my office hour. I'll see you in the next office hour. And please do not forget that I checked the form and I really cannot see any questions on the form. Please remember that the questions on the form would direct what we're going to teach in class, right? Because we already sent out resources. So we want to know what issues you are having, right? So when you use the form and you say something like, oh, I'm having issues with this. And when you post the question, from the way you compose a question, we will actually sense if you watched the resources or not. If you watched the video, we will sense it. So if your question is something that has been attended to in the resources, then it means that you did not watch the resources. But if you have watched the resources and then you are pointing to a particular place, or you are pointing to a concept in the resources that was not properly touched, we are now going to, in the office hours, we are going to touch on it, right? Because we want to see what areas you are having issues with. Then in the office hour, we explain that, right? That is how it works. So please do it to use the form, right? Fill in your question in the form. Once I see it personally, if I say personally in my office hours, why not? If you have been attending my office hours, you see that I always attend to questions from the form first before looking at the chat box. So thank you so much, everybody, for attending the office hour. I really appreciate the fact that you guys are putting so much effort to learn and you guys are doing well. Thank you. I am going to end the office hour now. See you in the next office hour.